Welcome everybody to the Miami Sharks season preview in their expansion year in the league called Major League Rugby. This is something that I don't have to do, but I certainly want to do this. So with this, we start off covering the 2024 season with the season preview of the 2024 season, their first ever year. Last season of the MLR, there was the Chicago Hounds, and that's who we're going to play first on March 3rd, 5:30 at Chase Stadium, or All-Nation Sports Fields, the training grounds. I can't really know for certain. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So, how it became to fruition, Galperin wanted to submit this in the job markets, and on February 8th, 2023, the league has announced a new team, and the team right here in the 305, the Miami Sharks, is officially been official. It was named Sharks before the team was even announced. That is the team name that they wanted to have for the United States of America, and why not? And have it in the Miami area. Now, I'm wearing the Trident jersey because I don't have a Sharks jersey or anything Sharks related yet, but there is pink, which is Inter Miami, in case you don't know, because they technically are partners. So, the Sharks are probably not going to go anywhere anytime soon because they have partners with Inter Miami, which is awesome. Kind of awesome. So, that is how it became fruition. Last season in the FRU website, YouTube channel, they were doing a live stream on a weekly basis. They're talking about its own union with the Miami Tridents, the Miami Rugby, Orlando Griffins, Tampa Bay, other teams, everything in the Florida region. I wouldn't say region, but the whole state. And that union has that Florida Rugby page, that Florida Rugby Union website contains everything. It contains college, the U19, 22, anything you age down below. And they have women's rugby. They have Division 1, 2, 3, and 4. And most importantly, they actually had Major League Rugby. And you know who's the only team in Major League Rugby in Florida? The Sharks. So, yeah, that's just a minor thing I wanted to talk about. But why I brought that up is the owner of the Sharks. I don't know. I forgot whether or not it was Galperin or not. But they were talking to the owners of Florida Rugby Union, and they were asking questions, and they were asking him about the stadium deal, who's going to be the coach, and things like that. And we got some answers already based on the interview. So, what we know is they were looking at stadiums at the time until they eventually found their home at Dry Pink. Well, now it's Chase Stadium, but they're gonna most likely do it at their Inter Miami's training grounds, All-Nation Sports Fields, or something like that. So that was it. The other thing they wanted to ask is the academies, the roster they have in place, and they were looking at big players, and we got some big ones as well. And they wanted to have a long-term rugby in South Florida. They wanted to make some academies, and it looked like they've already done so. They're already starting to make the Miami Sharks academy teams based on the Sharks. And the coaching, they got Jose Palacina. That is their first head coach for the Miami Sharks, and that is reported by CBS News Miami. Credit to them. So, with that being said, that's based on the answers. Now, as far as everything else that we like to talk about, let's go over this one in the preview. So, they have an official roster, and I'm looking at this through the Major League Rugby website and their social media, and looks like the Sharks does have a full roster, and so let's go over this. So, for the prop For the props position, we got Rob Evans, we got Alec McDonald, Jonas Petrokopoulos, Renato Boesi Mendoza, Alexander Tugi, and Seto Valo. The hooker position, Alexis Glover, Kirby Kenneth, Perego Mahill, and Sean McCulty. The lock position, you got David Beach, Michael Adiete, Richard Rose, and Stan Van Den Helven. Now, I can't pronounce these names very correctly. I'm terrible at them. And if you rugby fans know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. The back row position now: Manuel Aradao, Benjamin Renasso, Thomas Casares, that's one of the big names, Daniel Pryor, Chase Score, Haskins, Roloff Smith. For the scrum halves, obviously the biggest one here is Thomas Copelli and Damian Morley. The fly halves position is Felipe Echeverry. That's another big one. Echeverry, yeah. Shane O'Leary. The center's position, Connor Burns. Gillespie to Tot. I think that's another big one. Nick Craig. Thomas Inciarte. That's another big one. Joshua McAdam. And you got the wing position. You got Nicholas Elawat, Avery Ottoman, or Oitoman. I'm sorry. I still can't pronounce it right. Santiago Vidal. I think that's another big signing. And Marcos Young. And the fullback position, you got Mateus Fryer. That's one of the big ones as well. And Eric Nepalski. That is the Miami Sharks roster. Rob Evans, I believe he was the first overall pick in the 2024 MLR draft. One of the tallest props there. I think that's him. I could be wrong. But either way, that is the roster for the Sharks. And they set to make their franchise rugby debut in March 3rd. Now, with that being said, now let's talk about their schedule. And how am I going to look at their schedule? You must be asking. So, I am going to give all the credit to this app called Tribe. Tribe, and I'm not sponsoring them by any means, just wanted to give my personal opinion on Tribe. Tribe is the best app for rugby. Absolutely 100%. This app contains rugby unions, rugby leagues around the globe, rugby internationals, rugby sevens, super sevens, you name it, they have it regarding rugby, and it includes Major League Rugby for the United States of America, and you can even select your own team. For example, you can choose the Chicago Hounds, the New York Iron Workers, then New York Iron Workers, which what happened to them was unfortunate. Toronto Arrows, which again, that's another unfortunate. And a couple others like Austin and Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles was an interesting one because they had a team, they lost it, and then they got another one from relocation from Atlanta. That is totally off topic, but I'm just telling you examples. You can get other teams for setting your own, and obviously I chose the Sharks because I always rep the 305. So anyway, let's take a look at the schedule as I'm gonna describe it right now. So, the first ever game, which I'm totally excited, and I'm going to that one. We got the Sharks going up against the Chicago Hounds. That is their first ever matchup. They did have the preseason games. The Sharks, and I don't know whether or not they won that game, but they played against a team called Atham RC. That is a Carolina team. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Preseason result, I have no idea. I don't know. But anyway, the first ever matchup, the Chicago Hounds, on March 3rd. That's a 5:30 kickoff. That's kind of interesting to put it at 5:30. Hey, I'm not complaining. Then the second game, our first ever West Coast game, and oh my, why did it have to be Seattle Seawolves? Now, That's their second game. That's on March 9th. That is a 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time kickoff. One thing you should know about the Seattle Seawolves, they are an impressive team. They are one of the best, historically in this league, one of the best teams in the league. I want to say they made it to the finals 3 times in their history. 3 times. They won 2 out of 3. I think their only loss was against New York a couple of years ago. My friend made a video about that. But anyway, the next one is another good one, but it's going to be Houston SaberCats going up against the Miami Sharks, and that's going to be in Houston, Texas. Houston is one of the only teams that has their own rugby-specific stadium, and that's impressive to have. The league is kind of growing. I think Houston had a rugby stadium already when they came in. I don't know whether or not that's true or not. But anyway, our next match is a home game, March 23rd. By the way, the Houston game was March 16th. The week after is against Anthem RC, the Carolina team. That's going to be in Chase Stadium or Automation Sports Field. That's besides the point. That's going to be in South Florida. Then we stay in South Florida for a Sunday matchup, March 21st, between Miami Sharks going up against San Diego Legion. San Diego Legion is a no-joke team. They're one of the best teams in the league. A sleeper team that should have won the championship once or twice. They are due for a championship win. They are due for it. And speaking of championships, that the next game is going to be against a defending MLR champions, but that's going to be up in, yes, I have to say it, regarding the Miami Sports, we don't have pleasantries for that, even if it's newer leagues. And yes, I have to say the region, New England Free Jacks, they are the defending champions. They actually beat the San Diego Legion last July. But yeah, we go up to New England to take on the Free Jacks on April 6th. And we have a bye week after that. And then after the bye week, we go up against NOLA Gold. New Orleans, Louisiana Golds. I think they're one of the only teams that play in the baseball stadium. I could be wrong. But we're going to New Orleans to play against Louisiana or New Orleans. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff on April 20th. So relatively early midday matchup. Then a week after, we got the Dallas Jackals at South Florida. That's a 7:30 kickoff, and by this point, Florida is getting warmer and warmer, and Florida is always summer down there. And when it's April, that it's going to get worse with temperature. So that's why you have to put it at later time. But anyway, they go up against the Dallas Jackals. I would lie and say I probably would lie if I say that should be an easy win, because Jackals were not a great team for a couple of years. They finally got their first win last season, and they've been in the league for 2 years. But Dallas this season, for what I gather, absolutely had no mercy and had no problem signing multiple players during the offseason. They were not messing around in the offseason. So I can't say whether or not this is an easy win. It's always different. But yeah, that's what we got next on South Florida, April 27th. A week after, we got Old Glory DC, and they actually play in Virginia. I think they play in the stadium where... What team is that? Is it Loudoun? Loudoun United? I'm talking about the USL team. I think it's Loudoun. I could be wrong. But anyway, we got Old Glory DC up in Virginia in Loudoun United Stadium up at May 4th. Then after that, we got the Sharks take on the Utah Warriors in South Florida. That's May 11th. Then a week after, we got a bye week. Then we got the defending champs again, but this time it'll be in South Florida. That's the Free Jacks next. Then another West Coast games. That's a Sunday matchup, but thankfully it's an early West Coast game. And they take on RFC Los Angeles. Now, this team, they were a good team when they were in Atlanta. The problem with them is they're having issues trying to figure out if they should stay in Atlanta or stay in that part of Atlanta. I think they were playing at I forgot where they were playing, but they were too far from Atlanta. I will tell you that much. They were too far from Atlanta. It's not like the Braves situation, where the Braves they're like the southern region of. I think they're the southern region, but where they're a little bit far from downtown, but they made it work in the suburbs. They did not make it work in Atlanta at all. And also, even though they're a great team, I don't know if they inspired enough to stay in Atlanta. And that's a shame, too, because I would have loved to see an Atlanta and Miami rivalry in MLR. But regardless, we got Los Angeles on June 2nd. That's a Sunday matchup. And a Sunday matchup continues because we got NOLA Gold in South Florida this time, June 9th. And then this next matchup, this one was originally supposed to be June 15th. And I would say this with the first game too. It used to be on March 2nd, but they changed it to March 3rd. This one was also supposed to be June 15th, but they moved it the day after. So that's kind of convenient for me because I have a wedding to go to anyway. But June 16th matchup, we actually go to Carolinas. I think it's North Carolina, most likely, right? North Carolina, Anthem RC taking on the Miami Sharks. Then the next matchup, we got Old Glory DC on June 22nd. And then we wrap up the 2024 regular season up in Chicago, where we finish off the regular season taking on the Chicago Hounds up at Chicago, Illinois. SeatGeek Stadium. That's a good stadium. So I would end off here, but I do have one more pointers. So I sincerely hope I have saved this. Let me double check real quick. Okay, yes I have. All right, so the postseason format. You have 4 seeds available. The best 4 teams, and there's 6 teams in each side. You got 6 teams from the East, then you got 6 teams from the West. And obviously the top 4 seeds make it to the playoffs anyway. So the playoff format is this. Seed 1 plays Seed 4, Seed 2 plays Seed 3, and then they play the winners of each seed before moving on to the championship. I wanted to bring this up because here's the dates for the playoffs. So the regular season ends. Our last matchup is June 29th, right? June 29th. The playoffs starts in July 20th of 2024. And you might be thinking, that's quite a long time. That's quite a long time, right? And it is. But there is, for what I heard, there is an international break going on, and it might be pretty bad because I hear it is so congested. You got USA taking on Canada in the month of July, early parts of July. So that's kind of why there's a break in between. But the preparations and stuff like that with 2 to 3 matches during that time, I don't know how that's going to work. It's a big curiosity. You can learn it from other rugby experts. I'm still not a rugby expert, and I've been studying rugby for over a couple of years, and I'm still not getting 100%. And to be fair, I'm still not getting 100% with soccer either. But I'm getting there. But anyway, the conference final starts. Conference semifinal starts on July 20th to the 21st. Then the conference finals starts at July 27th to the 28th. And then the championship itself starts on August 4th. So that's kind of why I brought it up. And this is where I come in. This is where my predictions comes in. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I would say about 17 matches, right? Somewhere around there, maybe less than that. No, I can't do it. Maybe 16 matches. Okay. I'm thinking a winning record. And yes, we do have high expectations for the Sharks. They have a good system. And first impressions comes with everything, right? So we'll see what happens. I personally think, in my opinion, they're going to have a pretty good record, and they're going to make it to the playoffs. Could they win the MLR championship? I don't know. I have no idea. It's happened before. Has it happened before? I don't know. I don't know if it has. I don't know if it has. I think Los Angeles maybe did it. Yeah, I think Los Angeles did it. 2021. But I say they make the playoffs in their first season. I don't know whether or not they're going to make it all the way to the finals. They're making it to the deep run. We shall see what happens. And yes, I am overly optimistic. I am really, really excited to watch this team play. I'm so excited. You guys have no clue. And they do the point system. Like there's 5 points, 3 points, or 4 points, 3 points. I still have no idea how that works yet. But when I do perfect the knowledge of my unintelligent mind I have, then I should definitely tell you whether or not if we're gonna make it or not. And the East is pretty congested with talent because first off you got some great teams in the East. You got New England, then you have a resurgence Chicago, who I think they're going to be really good. Anthem probably. The Sharks might be in the category. I think so. So yeah, man, let's see what happens in the MLR season. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to watch this team play. I'm so excited to talk about them. I'm so excited to vlog them. Absolutely. I'm so excited. And I'm going to buy the merch. I'm definitely going to buy the merch. I don't know whether or not I'm going to buy a jersey because it's hard enough to even fit a Tridents jersey. I mean, no offense. No offense to Tridents. I mean, Tridents. I've seen the Tridents play once or twice. Really phenomenal people. Phenomenal people. Phenomenal people. And when and I have said to them, they should be a professional team in Miami. Look where we are now. We've come a long way since then, since meeting them in Orlando. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Farm Sharks. Hit the like button, subscribe to content. If you're new to this channel, please hit that like button and subscribe for more because I am definitely going to be doing rugby videos, recaps, my personal intake. I'm doing all the Sharks games. I'm going to watch every Shark game I can possibly can. I'm probably going to watch all of them. So anyway, guys, you should stick around and stay tuned for it. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. If you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to content, because Miami Chief you guys is back. And what he does, he'll be right there with the fair entertainment you deserve. This is Miami Chief Video sign off, folks. Adios.